What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Dense Pixels podcast. I'm your host, Brad, joined by my co-hosts, Micah.
Hey.
And Terrence.
What's up?
No Carrie this week. She's ill. It may be for the best. Now, listen, I know that typically, traditionally, when we talk wrestling on this show, we save it to the very end of the podcast because that way we can give all the non-wrestling fans a chance to tune out if they don't care about these things. We're considerate that way. This is a video game podcast after all. However, Royal Rumble was last night or Saturday night, and we have to talk about it. We have to. And if you're not a wrestling fan, I would urge you to still hang through the wrestling conversation. I mean, you can skip ahead if you want to. We'll probably be talking about this for like 20 minutes, but like stick with it because you're about to hear all of us get very passionate about a wrestling storyline. And this could be what brings you in to the fold because WrestleMania is right around the corner. So I'll start this conversation by asking this question, but I don't want you to answer it. I want to put a pin in it because we're gonna talk about it. But is the Bloodline Sami Zayn story the greatest story ever told in the history of professional wrestling? Don't answer it. We're putting a pin in it. Okay.
All right.
So I think it bears walking through the state of events to how we got here today. So Royal Rumble past weekend, the Rumble matches both very good, the undercard matches not so much, but the Rumble matches were good. It worked out okay, and then we got to the main event. And so let's start the Roman Reigns. Let's talk about the Roman Reigns storyline, right? So Roman Reigns, he's been WWE champion for the last 2.5 years. He's been the Universal Champion, the undisputed like combined champion for almost a year at this point. He did that at WrestleMania last year. And it's important to note, this will become relevant later, it's important to note that he started his reign by getting his family in order. And he started that reign by basically beating down and forcing his cousin Jey Uso into the fold. Jimmy Uso was hurt. Jey Uso was wrestling. He didn't like what Roman was doing. Roman was acting like an ass, called himself tribal chief at a table, and he was literally beaten down into submission to go in league with Roman Reigns. That's important.
He was jumped in like one would jump in someone in a gang.
Yes.
Right.
So fast forward, Bloodline becomes dominant. Roman Reigns, he's a champion the whole time. Usos win the tag team title. They've been tag champs for about 1.5 years at this point, a little more. They've been the undisputed tag team champs for, 8 months, give or take at this point. Maybe not quite that long, but it's been a while. And what's funny is I don't remember how Sami Zayn got inserted into the conversation. I don't think there was a thing that I don't recall a thing happening where it's like, oh, Sami Zayn's hanging around with the Bloodline now. I think it just kind of happened in like a natural state of ways during the summertime, right? And Sami Zayn was, hanging out with the Bloodline, trying to get in with that posse, right? And at first he was like amusing to the Bloodline. Like they saw him, I guess, as like a mascot. They could like make him go do stupid things, but there wasn't ever anything serious about it, right? And then over time, Jimmy Uso takes a shine to him first. Like Jimmy Uso like embraces him wholeheartedly. He's like, this is my dude. This guy's awesome. He's funny as shit. This is also important to the story. Notably, Jey Uso fucking hates Sami Zayn. Doesn't trust him. Despises him. Thinks this is bullshit. Every time, like, Roman Reigns kind of shows, like, Sami Zayn some love, like, he can't believe it. He doesn't understand why his twin brother, like, is palling around with this dude. Doesn't get it, right? Tells Sami Zayn on several occasions, like I fucking hate you. I don't trust you. Like, get away from me. Like, I don't trust you. Well, Sami Zayn, he's taking shot after shot for the Bloodline. He's helping out wherever he can. He saved the tag titles a couple times for the Usos. He, helped Roman Reigns out. But he's like, how am I going to prove it to you? I'm going to do it at War Games. Bloodline facing, a big team of WWE superstars they have beef with. Notably, Kevin Owens, part of this team. Sami Zayn is part of the Bloodline team. He basically offers up Kevin Owens to the Usos at the end of the War Games match, wins the match for them, kicks Kevin Owens, below the belt. And that's what turns Jey Uso, right? Like, as much as Jey Uso hated Sami Zayn, he realizes, oh, like, this guy really is fighting for us. And now as much as he hated him, has turned into love for Sami Zayn. Like, he loves him like a brother. Like it just took earning it to get there, right? But Roman's still keeping him at arm's length. Like, they give him the shirt. He's the honorary Uso. He's not a real member of the Bloodline, but he's an honorary Uso, but he's not family, so he can't be. And Sami Zayn just trying. Like, he's trying to ingratiate himself to the Bloodline because he wants to belong, right? Like he was cast adrift for a while. He wants to be in this family. But on the peripheral, Kevin Owens just kind of lingering. Kevin Owens trying to tell him, like, they don't like you, like, you're not blood. You never will be. Like, they're never gonna trust you completely. They're using you. And Sami Zayn denies it. Denies. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns starting to get a little upset with Sami Zayn because the crowd's starting to coalesce around Sami Zayn. They're starting to, they're chanting Sami Uso, stuff like that. And Roman feels threatened. So he's gaslighting Sami Zayn. Like he's been gaslighting Sami Zayn for like the last several weeks. Kind of, it's akin to like an abusive relationship almost, where like he, blows up on him and then he reels him back in, like, with platitudes. He's like, you don't have to apologize to me, Sami. I need to apologize to you. Like, I was out of line. Like, I went off on you for no reason. But you need to take care of Kevin Owens next week. Like that. It's always, like I'll give it to you. But this is gonna be a thing. So KO, meanwhile, stirring the pot, right? He's stirring the pot, and he's looking out for Sami, but he also wants Roman Reigns. Kevin Owens, famously one of the first challengers to Roman Reigns' championship, back when he first won it. They had a memorable feud back in that 2020 winter, and he gets an opportunity, and basically attacks Roman Reigns during the contract signing, and Roman Reigns is pissed, and he tells Sami Zayn, like, this is your fault, and so they put him on trial. Trial was this past Monday night. And Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman is the prosecutor, right? He presents all this evidence. Like, he presents video evidence of Sami Zayn. He has it out for the Bloodline. He's in league with Kevin Owens. This, that, or the other thing. Sami Zayn, meanwhile, incredulous. Can't believe that he's having to deal with this. Can't believe he has to go through it. And when asked to offer a defense, Sami Zayn is so incredulous. He's so upset that all the stuff he's done for the Bloodline, no one seems to care. Roman's not looking at it. Paul Heyman's trying to pin it on him, and he says, "I have no defense. That's my defense. I have no defense. I bled for you guys. I've done everything you asked of me and more. And for you to treat me like this, it's fucked up." Roman's pissed. He's like, "I can't believe you won't even defend yourself." That's it. He tells Solo Sikoa. He tells the enforcer to hand down the sentence. It says he's about to spike Sami Zayn in the neck. Who jumps up to save Sami Zayn? Jey Uso. Jey Uso jumps. He stops the spike from coming down. He presents the defense for Sami Zayn. He shows evidence that he gathered of all the times that Sami Zayn saved the Bloodline, saved the championship for Roman Reigns, saved the tag titles for the Usos. All the times that he was there. And tells Sami Zayn, he's like, "I love you like a brother. Like, you're like a brother to me." Roman Reigns, shocked by this, finds Sami Zayn not guilty, but he says for now, he's like, your last test is going to come at the Royal Rumble. We had no idea what he was talking about. We would find out soon enough. So Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, they have the match. The match doesn't matter. Roman Reigns won. The only thing that matters in the match is that at one point Roman Reigns, with the referee out, he told Sami Zayn, he's like, "Get me a chair." And Sami Zayn's like, "You told me not to do anything. You told me to just stand here and do nothing." He's like, "Well, I'm telling you to get a chair now. Go get a damn chair." So he hesitates, but he gets a chair. Doesn't get to use it. Kevin Owens, hits the stunner, has Roman down for like a 5 count, but the referee's out. Match is won, but there's no referee. What are you going to do? Roman Reigns attacks him. Kevin Owens goes to the outside. Sami Zayn pleads him, just stay down. Like they want him to leave Kevin Owens in the dust, but he can't. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, they have a long history in professional wrestling. Long, goes back decades. They came through together. Sami Zayn just can't afford to just leave Kevin Owens behind. He can't. That's his true brother. It's Kevin Owens. And deep down he knows it. So he's pleading with Kevin Owens, like, stay down, stop fighting. Roman spears Kevin Owens through the barricade, eventually wins the match. Bloodline comes in to celebrate. Jey Uso's getting ready to put a lei around Sami Zayn's neck. He's about to be a made man. Roman says, no, not yet. Not yet. We're not done here yet. Usos, Solo, they start putting the boots to Kevin Owens. He's already been beaten down. He's already out. They start putting the boots to him. Paul Heyman brings out handcuffs. They handcuff Kevin Owens to the ropes in a Christ-like position. His arms are out. He's handcuffed to the top rope. And the Usos and Solo, they just start teeing off on him. Like, he's defenseless. He can't defend himself. They're hitting him with super kicks. They're beating him down. Roman's talking trash to him. Sami Zayn, he's conflicted. He looks conflicted. Like this isn't what he wants. Like he wanted Roman to win. Like, he wanted to ingratiate himself, but he can't see his best friend, beaten down this way. And finally Roman takes a chair. He's like, we're going to end this. He's about to waylay Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn steps in the way of the chair. He says, no. He's like, it's over. Don't do this. Don't do this. Like, you don't need to do. He's pleading with Roman Reigns. Like, you don't need to do this. It's over. Like, this is beneath. He's trying to appeal to his ego. He said, this is beneath you. You don't need to do this. This is beneath you. And Roman Reigns says, you know what? You're right. It is beneath me. I'm not going to do this. You're going to do this. He hands him the chair. And he's like, come on. He's like, this is it. This is your test. Like, you gotta prove to me that he's in your past, and then you're a made man. You're part of the bloodline. And Sami Zayn's conflicted. He can't do it. And Roman gets in his face. And that's when I knew. That's when I knew what was going to happen. Roman gets in his face. And he's screaming at him. He's what the hell are you doing? Like do it. All this shit. Like, you want it easily. He's like, I saved you. He's like, I did. I brought you up. I'm doing this. He's like, you want to do jackass shit, or you want to hang out with the bloodline? Like we're called back to last WrestleMania. And Sami Zayn looks frustrated when this is happening. And then Roman Reigns turns his back to talk some more trash to Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn cocks the chair back. And just exactly the same way as Seth Rollins hit Roman Reigns in the back to break up the Shield, Sami Zayn hauls off, nails Reigns in the back. Reigns falls forward. Crowd, enormous pop. Like they can't believe it. So the first thing Sami does, he turns to Jay, drops the chair, and is like, I'm sorry. like turns to Jey Uso immediately. The first guy to lay the boots on Sami Zayn is Jimmy, the first dude that accepted him into the bloodline. Jimmy can't believe that this betrayal. So him and Solo are beaten down on Sami Zayn. Roman recovers. He's beaten down Sami Zayn. They turn to Jay and they say, come on, get in on this. Jey Uso slides out of the ring, walks up the ramp. He can't cover his face. He can't believe it. Because he sees what they did. Like he sees all the hoops they made Sami jump through. And they wouldn't accept him. And until he became somebody that he wasn't. And I think it's reminding Jey Uso of when he first came to grips with his cousin. And then Roman Reigns, takes the lay and just, picks it apart and basically buries Sami Zayn in a modified, bed of roses. And then they leave. Both Zayn and Owens laid out on the canvas, as is poetic.
I mean, first of all, bravo. That was beautiful. That was a beautiful recap. Look, if you replace the chair with a gun, you got a motion picture right there. And yes, I'm sorry, George Stevens, but WWE and Triple H have the greatest story ever told. I was riveted. I was captivated. That was a long pay-per-view, man.
And plus it was long. Yeah, it was long. It was past midnight. And again, this is post-match. I don't recall the post-match stuff of a main event of a big pay-per-view like this lasting literally for 15 minutes. This went on for 15 minutes after the match ended. But like you said, gripped and could not tear your eyes away from the screen the entire time. And I will add, got exactly the response because again, the bloodline was starting to get popular with the crowd, but because Roman did, but it was because of Sammy and because Roman did what he did. What did you hear from the crowd as soon as that shit happened? Fuck you,
Finally.
Roman.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I mean, it's a master class in how to like play with emotions on a live crowd. Like South Park did a wrestling episode and a long time ago. And Vince McMahon came to South Park looking for wrestlers. And all the kids, they can't wrestle, right? But they're like, yeah, we watch wrestling. And they would get into an auditorium and they would perform like Shakespeare, like podunk, like middle class Shakespeare. And like the real wrestling teachers, like, that's not wrestling, blah, blah, blah. But like that's what Vince McMahon wanted. He wanted, and it got to the point where they went into an amphitheater, and it was just these dudes in luchador masks with spotlights on them delivering soliloquies. And this is like that's part of wrestling, man, and it's a really good part. That's the one thing about AEW that I think they need a little bit of work on. I got to get invested in people, man. Especially, and look, I'm invested in these people, and I know them. But I have a newfound like appreciation for what they all do. They all know how to play their characters, man. Roman is an incredible professional wrestler.
I was
Because
about to say that. Like his
he, yeah, go
his
ahead.
transformation from when he first came in from NXT. Well, it wasn't NXT when he was in there, but from when everyone hated him to actually becoming the person that they hated on purpose. Like they needed them to hate him. It's amazing. Like his character work is fucking incredible.
It is,
From
man.
what he
It
started
really
out to
is.
as what he is now, and he's been fucking champion for 3 years, or 2.5 to 3 years. That's unheard of nowadays.
And he's the best type because he's not like a monster, right? He's not like a Brock Lesnar type who is just like some SNK Mortal Kombat boss or some shit, right? No, he's 100% beatable. He's
Right.
100% beatable.
You know
Like
what he is. He's Hollywood Hogan
yes,
in this day and age.
yes.
He's beatable, but you can't beat him because just when you have him is when the gang shows up.
Is when
Just
the
just to
NWO
make sure.
shows up.
Yeah, just to make sure. So
It's look, man, I mean like my heart was a flutter. Like I couldn't believe it, yo. Like I was like and like there's nothing wrong with like people some people are like, "Oh, this is predictable," and like the whole night people, was predictable and stuff like that. But there's nothing wrong with a predictable story if it's told well. And this whole bloodline thing was told immaculately. It is in my opinion the best uh wrestling storyline there ever was. And I mean like to the point where it's like not even about being a wrestling storyline. It's and this is one of the few things that wrestling is able to do. Like you can't like there are no live events that tell a story like this, right? Like yeah, there have been like trilogies and like UFC fights and stuff like that. But like nah, yo, it's different. You can't just like those are just like two guys who people want to see fight. But like that's it. Like I want to see Sammy. I want to see Sammy and Roman go at it now more than I ever have wanted to see any two people go against anything, yo. Like it's amazing, and I wonder now the real work begins.
right, because they appear like if you just look at it from afar, they appear to have writ themselves into a corner because Roman Reigns is the undisputed, WWE champion, Universal champion. He's the only guy with the world title belt. But Cody Rhodes has won the Royal Rumble. And Cody Rhodes gets the main event shot at WrestleMania. So what do? There's a couple different things you can do.
I mean, I think the easiest is split the belts.
Split the belts, right, and have Roman defend both of them. I think is the
Yeah.
way is the way that you do it. Is you have him
Yeah.
defend both titles on different nights, and how
That
you do
would
that is
be-
very interesting.
And look, this is a fucking Greek tragedy, man. Like it is the fall of Rome, right? Like it's the fall of Roman's reign. Like we've already seen cracks in Roman, right? Like he's already shown paranoia, and he doesn't trust anybody. His family is breaking apart. Look, all it takes is for one person to just be like, you know what?
Well, and that's the reason. Like, it would have been easy to have like Sami Zayn, crack Roman with a chair, and have the whole bloodline like put the boots to him. Jay's role in all this makes this infinitely more interesting, especially given the history.
Yeah, man. Like, and this is what I love. That thank God Vince McMahon's not here, because Vince McMahon, Vince McMahon, he has like the memory of a gerbil or some shit, man. Like,
no, you're right. Like if it didn't happen 3 months ago, it doesn't exist in the pantheon. Like we can't address things that the audience remembers.
Right, and
But
even if you do need like a video package recap, like because WWE does that all the time, like to ad nauseum on like Monday nights. But what a perfect like way to recap this whole thing, to remind people why Jay backed out, right?
like, and again, it might need reminding because literally how Jay came into league with Roman, for those who don't remember, is they literally had an I Quit Hell in a Cell match for the championship. But if Jay lost, he had to side, like he had to join Roman, essentially, like he had to join the family, as it were. And he beat Jay so badly and choked out Jay so badly that an injured Jimmy Uso had to hobble down to the ring and throw in the towel for his brother. Like, that's how badly he beat Jey Uso in that match.
This is how like the team that wins the Super Bowl, they usually give like a DVD or like a Blu-ray of the recap of the season, and then they do the NFL Films thing. Like, I want this.
You want an hour long recap of the Bloodline storyline.
Yeah, man, and I want it. I want it up until when Reigns loses those titles. Like, it's the fall of Rome, and it's going to be. I have a feeling this is going to be amazing. Like, it's. I mean, I don't know what to say, man. I didn't think wrestling, something as stupid as wrestling, dudes in their underwear rolling around, and this is the highest form of drama I've seen in a long, long time.
I tell you, when I was watching it the other night, what got me, the whole storyline is amazing, but what got me is the pop that Sami Zayn got when he hit that nigga in the back with that chair. I swear to God, I think that was the loudest pop I've ever heard in my entire life.
That it was equivalent.
It was so loud, it distorted my speakers. I was
the only pop that I can remember that was somewhat on the same level was during the invasion angle, when like McMahon was like trying to coax like Steve Austin out of the bar to come save Team WWF because he wasn't the same Stone Cold anymore. And then he showed up at the arena, and then like all of a sudden, like the crowd knew he was coming down to the ring when the invasion folks were beating down on Team WWF. And then if you go to see, watch that on YouTube, that's a loud fucking pop. This was the only thing I've seen that really rivaled that I can remember.
It was insane. I'm like, yeah, they pulled it off. Now they just have to pull the trigger on when he's going to lose the belts.
I love this Sammy was the one to do it. Like, Sammy was the one he showed the agency, right? Like, it would have been, like you said, it would have been super easy for just the Bloodline to turn. That would have made Sammy look incredibly weak. And like nah, yo, like no, I'm not gonna get pushed around, yo, like oh my god, it's.
Well, and again, Sammy's motives here are still. I mean, they're still technically ambiguous because you could make the argument that he just snapped. Like he didn't mean to do it, but because Roman was berating him so badly, he just lost his mind and snapped. Because again, the first thing he does as soon as he does it is he drops the chair and profusely apologizes to Jey Uso. Like turns directly to him and is like, I'm sorry because that's who he feels like he's really devastating in the end. Like that's the guy that he worked really hard to, like, he's like, oh man, if I could just get in with Jay, like I've got it made. And that's the guy who he feel like he really screwed over with the whole thing. But again, and Jimmy and Jay are still the tag champs. Like as Jay was leaving the ring, Jay's leaving the ring. Jimmy audibly shouting at him. You can hear him on the broadcast. You said he's your brother. I'm your actual brother. He's like, what are you doing? Like, get back here.
Oh my god, it was
so
amazing.
many threats. It's I don't know where they go, but yeah, this is storytelling 101. It's such a simple story, but there's so many threads to it that and it's fucking, like Micah said, it's wrestling.
Well, that is what? The thing. Like there's like I was thinking about like some of the other great like stories in wrestling that have been told. Like I think of like Austin McMahon, Sting, Hogan, like that shit. And obviously, like, they all have their problems. Like, Hogan was fine up until they completely crashed the plane into the ground when they were trying to land it. Like, that was a problem. But none of them had, like, this level of nuance to all this. There's nothing in it that just has, like you guys said, all these additional threads and all these complications to the narrative, because again, this could go so many different ways now. Like, what if Jey Uso just fucking straight up leaves the Bloodline? What if he aligns himself with Sami Zayn? What if he helps cost Roman? Like what if Sami and Roman do wrestle and he helps cost Roman, like, the title? That kind of shit. Like a lot of shit could happen.
I'm very good. Look, Elimination Chamber is in Montreal. I don't know. I've never have I been more excited for just a random elimination chamber.
And that's the thing. Like, you almost have to. I almost feel like if you're because like I said, it's gonna be a bummer when the blow off for this feud is like Sammy and Kevin win the tag titles. Like that's my fear. That's my fear, is that we don't get the true boss resolution. However, given the event that's coming up next, given where it is, and given the principles involved, that might not be a bad way to go at Elimination Chambers. Have them wrestle against the Usos for the tag titles. And because Jay is conflicted, or for whatever reason, somehow that cost them. And they cost them this, like, record reign against...
Do they have both titles?
They do, yes.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
But they've been defending them separately as of late. Haven't they? I thought that
they have, because they're running like a tournament on SmackDown for the SmackDown titles, and then on Raw, I can't remember who's beefing with them on Raw, but some tag team is beefing with them on Raw right now.
That's just so fucking weird, man.
As well. I mean, I don't mind doing that sometimes, because again, like, if you really want to build up a champion, that's a real easy way to do it. It's like they're such a champion, they're like a double champion, they're so good that they've got all the belts. It's like a boxing champion, like, that has, he's the world champion of these 4 different boxing federations.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's been high drama, and yeah, I think I can't think of a wrestling storyline that's been better. And again, especially one that's drawing on stuff that happened years ago, like at the very beginning of the stuff when
it's the longevity of this one is
right,
like the main thing. Like, you had, like, when Hogan and Macho Man with Elizabeth, that fucking home wrecking ass nigga Hogan trying to steal his girl. Fuck that nigga. But like,
right, that happened in like 3 months. Like that right, was like 3 months from starting.
Like this, and then the NWO, that entire storyline, but they fucking destroyed that because they just basically took over the whole goddamn WCW. But when that first started, yeah, like, I don't know if anything is beating like the beginning of the NWO storyline outside of this one that's going on now. But yeah, those are the two big ones that I can remember off the top.
I can't believe it.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
It's really good.
It is really good.
Fucking nuts.
So yeah, so again for if you hung in for the non-wrestling talk, sorry, but again, this was the probably the most monumental thing that's happened like in story in professional wrestling for a long time.
Triple H knows what the fuck he's doing, man. Mm-hmm. He's a student of the
and that's the thing that pisses me off is that if Vince McMahon does, worm his way back into creative, you have to question what like the financial like the heads are doing down there, because like just look at the buzz you're getting on online about this shit, and when people are talking about it this way, don't let that man anywhere near your fucking creative.
Look, it's the highest gated Royal Rumble ever, and I don't want to think about what would happen if Vince McMahon came back, because I want to think happy thoughts, but I can just see it now, like, no, he did it by mistake, and now you're back to being his lackey because you're not big, huge. All right. Gunther was the Iron Man.
Yeah, I had a bit of an issue with that.
Yeah.
After what's her name? No, not him being an Iron Man, but what's her name coming in at number 1 and winning it the second one. I mean,
Terrence froze up on us.
That was weird.
Oh, there you are. Okay, you froze up for a second.
Oh, my fault. Yeah, I was saying you had two people coming at number 1, and he lasted to the last 2, and then what's her name?
Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley came in at number 1 and won.
Yeah, and the last one eliminated in that Royal Rumble was Liv Morgan, who came in at number 2. So they were both there.
Why did y'all do that twice? That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
but,
I agree with you on that point. You could have easily just had Gunther be number 3 and still had the same effects.
It would have been like Rhea Ripley's would have been a little bit better than come on.
And he still would have been a made man. That was cool though. I had a couple people that I had tabbed to kind of get their flowers in the Royal Rumble this year. I was not expecting him, but I'm really glad that it was him. I'm that tells me that come SummerSlam, maybe WrestleMania time next year, that look at him to be in some of the top spots and deservedly so. Like that's an awesome dude to have up there.
Yeah, man. Goodness gracious. Yeah, I had fun with that Rumble, man. It was long. Like I didn't need the rave match.
I still think they don't know what to do with him, man.
Yeah, I'm over it.
I posted the meme that I posted in response to that in our Discord was the Benoit Blanc meme where he's like, it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Compels me. like I'm scratching my head, but I'm like, I still want to see what happens next.
I'm really bad at stupid things. That's what I feel like. That's what I feel like now that you mentioned Benoit Blanc, man. But yeah, man, I don't know what to tell you, man. This shit was amazing. Look, you want to talk about wrestling? You want to talk about the Royal Rumble? You want to thirst over Rhea Ripley like the rest of the world? You can go to densepixels.com/fans and join our Discord. Maybe don't like thirst on Rhea Ripley in the Discord. That's gross. But but you're already on the internet thirsting for Rhea Ripley. While you're on the internet, go to densepixels.com/fans and get invited to our Discord. We're talking about a lot of things. Look, every pay-per-view, the Wrestling Channel is on and popping, as they say. But you can also join. You can also ask a question in the post office. You can pimp your stream. You can find people looking for games to play with, and you can just talk about like general, video game news at DennisPixels.com/fans. Go to YouTube.com/DensePixels when you're not going to youtube.com, searching Real Ripley Thirst, and you can subscribe. Look, you haven't seen Terrence in a long time on this channel. Go to youtube.com/densepixels and look at him.
Like,
I got nothing. Look, and if you're hearing Terrence for the first time in a long time, don't fret. Terrence is on the
yeah, I'm on
Nerdpocalypse
2
and
other
Black on
fucking
Black
shows,
Cinema.
guys.
You should subscribe to them. The Nerdpocalypse, Black on Black Cinema. We just did a bad movie about black people, about black Nazis.
They weren't Nazis. That was false advertisement. No.
Coming Distractions, and the weekly preview episode of the Look Forward Political Podcast. And if that's not enough, go to densepixel.com/premium for $5 a month or $50 for the full year. You get access to the premium slate of podcasts, including back episodes of The Airing of Grievances, No Time to Bleed, The Men with the Golden Tongues, Upstage Conversation, and the full current weekly episode of the Look Forward Political Podcast. Now, look, they haven't done this week, but look, the end of last week's episode of Look Forward is worth the $5 at least.
I don't even remember what we talked about at the end of last week's episode.
No, it was the clip that Jay played for you.
Oh, that's right.
That was one of the funniest things.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
I swear to God, I was in Rock Creek Park driving home, and I almost drove into a ditch. I was laughing so hard. Yeah. Look, go to densepixels.com/premium and go listen to that episode, and listen to every single one of their episodes. They do great work over there.
We do also sometimes talk about video games on this video game podcast, including Microsoft, and they had a little bit of like I call it a Xbox Direct of sorts last week, where they talked about some of their upcoming first party games, notably not Starfield. But they did, they talked about Redfall, had an extended presentation on that. They also stealth dropped a new game that no one had ever heard of from Tango Gameworks, who are the makers of Ghostwire Tokyo and the Evil Within games. But this is not a horror game. This is a rhythm, character action game called Hi-Fi Rush. And I'm here to tell you, in terms of games that have been stealth dropped onto our heads, it might be the best one ever. Now, it's not a long list of games that have been stealth dropped. But this game is really fun. Terrence and Micah, what I will tell you, I don't know if either of you have played this yet.
I have played it.
Okay. The 2-second pitch is, what if Devil May Cry were a rhythm game? And that's basically what Hi-Fi Rush is, where
it's right up my fucking alley.
Yeah, it's an action combat game, but you want to do it to the beat.
Yep.
That's essentially that's the easiest way to describe it, and it is fucking fun. I will tell you, fucking fun.
I was surprised how into it I got, because it's for people who don't play action games like Devil May Cry and stuff like that. Your first instinct is to just mash light attack or mash heavy attack. And if you actually pay attention and have some control in Devil May Cry and Ninja Gaiden and stuff like that, there are certain combos that you can only do by tapping a button and then pausing for 2 seconds and then tapping it again, or tapping a button, holding a button in different combinations. The skill, but you can get away with just kind of mashing. It might like
I said, it's easy to learn, hard to master is the term that gets thrown out all the time.
Right. This game, Hi-Fi Rush, is the perfect bridge between just mashing and learning how to play those type of games. I found myself because it has a strict beat. And I found myself tapping, my foot to try and make sure that I stay on rhythm, because everything in the world is synchronized to the rhythm, but that's a little sensory overload for me. I need to I got to focus on what I'm doing. I'm old. I can't be looking at I can't be looking at the trees dance and shit, doing the night at the Roxbury while these robots trying to hit me. But yeah, man, it's super fun. Uh, and you know me, I don't like just play random ass games. This didn't cost a bajillion dollars and take 15 years to make. Don't want to play it. Nah, this is good, man. This is good.
And it took me a second to get to grips with the combat because all of your attacks, whether you time your button presses well or not, all of your attacks happen on the beat. So like when you press X to do a light attack, it's like it takes till the next beat before the attack actually lands. So like it doesn't, you're used to when you play an action game, when you press a button, your character immediately starts the animation. It doesn't work that way. You're almost like preloading your attacks, if that makes sense. So it takes a second to wrap your head around it. But once you do, it's actually really intuitive. I think it's an easier way for folks that don't typically play like DMC style games to get into something like this, because it kind of gives them an anchor to to kind of gravitate towards, because like I can hit buttons with the beat, like that's easy to do. But I think that and what's cool is that I've only played the first two stages, and the stages are long. Like each stage took me an hour to beat, because they mix up like a platforming section with. And then you have like a combat encounter, and then you do another platforming section, you do a combat encounter, and there's some other like environmental traversal mechanics that that you can do. But the first two stages almost act like as an extended tutorial, because when you beat the first stage, you're just like, this is pretty simple, because you think the game has shown you everything that there is to see. And then in the whole second stage, you're still learning new combat mechanics that you can integrate into your play. And you're like, this is actually really fucking deep. like it's kind of crazy that they've been working on this game completely in secret. Nobody this was kept completely under wraps. Nobody knew a damn thing about it, and they just announced it. And they're like, by the way, it's available now to purchase, and it's on Game Pass, and it's great. Like it's easily the best game. I mean, again, we're in fucking January, but it's the best game that's come out so far in 2023. To the point where, now, granted, Forspoken was advertised as a PS5 exclusive, but it's also on PC. But Hi-Fi Rush far exceeded like Forspoken's revenue on PC. And this is a game that came out with no marketing. It cost half the price as Forspoken, more than half the price of Forspoken. And it's available for free if you have Game Pass. And yet still on Steam, people were buying this game like crazy, much more than Forspoken, the first big AAA, like, let's throw an advertising, budget behind this game that came out earlier, that came out last week.
Yeah.
That's a goddamn shame. Forspoken looks like it took a lot of effort to develop. So does this, actually. This fucking Hi-Fi Rush looks really good. I love the art style of Hi-Fi Rush. I love the way the cutscenes are like not 60 frames per second, but it's kind of like does the whole, like a lot of people are doing this whole like Into the Spider-Verse thing with their animation now. But yeah, this looks good, and Forspoken looks good visually, right? But that game doesn't look fun to play at fucking all.
It don't sound good either.
Voice acting. I don't know if it's the voice actors or the dialogue. The dialogue is fucking awful.
I think it's all of it.
From what I've heard,
the dialogue is from what I've heard. I did not buy this game. Don't go assume. But from what I've heard, everything about it is just, it's like a January movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the only thing fucking me up in Hi-Fi Rush is that Robbie Draymond is the voice of Chai, who's the main character in the game. And since I just got finished playing Persona 5, like all I could hear is a catchy. I'm just like, fucking hey, that son of a bitch messing with me. So, Hi-Fi Rush is great. Like I said, if you have Game Pass, absolutely try it. And even if you fucking don't, $30 is you're getting a good game for $30. So you can do a lot worse.
There has been one, before you continue, there has been one game that I actually have been playing for the last couple weeks. Vampire Survivors.
Oh, on your phone?
No,
Oh.
on a laptop.
Oh, sweet.
Funny story. I had I got an update on Microsoft Edge. No one uses Microsoft Edge. So I opened it up and I looked at my Microsoft points because I haven't looked at them forever, right? And I had like 17,000 points from like 2014. So I was like, why do I even still have these? That's crazy. I thought they would have gotten rid of them. But I used them. I bought a $10 Xbox game card, $10. And apparently they gave me $1 Xbox Game Pass, PC Game Pass for 3 months. I bought Vampire Survivors and downloaded a couple other games. Vampire Survivors is very fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very fun game. I've unlocked everything. Literally everything you can unlock. Now I'm just doing like single weapon runs to see if I can get through a level with just one weapon. Because you can unlock limit break mode. I don't know how much of it you played.
I have unlocked limit break mode already, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Once you unlock limit break mode and like everything else that you can unlock in that game, you can do one weapon runs and beat death with the laurel and the lancet.
Yeah, so how much have I played? So on Steam, because they don't care about achievements, like they're just like, we're just gonna put as many achievements as possible in the fucking game. So every unlock on the unlock screen gives you an achievement essentially on Steam. So there's like and I bought the DLC also. So there's like 150. Yeah, there's 150.
152.
Yeah, I have 140 of them at this point. So.
I have all of the unlocks, all the weapons, even all the secret characters. There's like 45 characters to play in the game. Yeah, I've done everything you could possibly do.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to it. I took a break from it because I started playing Persona, and then that sent me down Japanese role playing hell. Between that and now, like I'm obsessed with Monster Hunter. So I'm stuck in there. But I will revisit it again at some point. I played a little bit of the DLC. That level's really fucking hard. I'll tell you that DLC map.
Again, once you beat everything, you unlock character. There's a character in the DLC that's invincible.
Oh, really?
There's an invincible character, but the thing is, like, they blow up at 30 minutes. You have no opportunity to even fight death with that character.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I just picked that character to see what weapons are really, really good by themselves and which ones are trash. But yes, it's a great game that I paid $3 for.
Yeah.
That and I got I downloaded Slay the Spire again. I still can't beat the first fucking dungeon, man. That shit's hard. I don't do well with card games.
I mean, it is a specific. Like I said, it's something to wrap your head around. I started fresh on Steam in Slay the Spire, and I'm at Ascension 9 with 2 characters, and then I'm at like 7 with the 2 other characters that are in the game.
I just get my ass kicked. I think it's because I don't have the proper cards yet, so I haven't done a lot of runs. So I feel like I'll just keep at it and get the cards I need to actually get through. So
I'll give you the deck building 101 lesson that many people don't learn until they've been playing deck building for a while. Don't take every card that's presented to you. Like that's the big thing, is that like you can bloat your deck. Like try to keep your deck focused on doing 1 or 2 things really well, and just kind of roll with that. That's the key. Is that a lot of people, like they'll take a card upgrade every time it happens, but then when your deck's 45 cards large, your best cards don't get drawn. A lot less frequently. Bullshit. So, yep. Some news this week. We're still on Xbox. Again, this week in Get Your Politics Out of My Video Games. So, like, Republicans love to be mad about nothing. They just find something that's completely innocuous, and they just get real upset about it and say that it's, the government's trying to, or corporations are trying to, they're too woke. They're too woke, and they're trying to, toss their woke values at you. The latest is that conservatives are yelling at Microsoft for forcing gamers to power down their Xbox consoles to fight climate change. That's how they phrase it. That's what they think.
Yo, why
Here's
are they
what
allowed to
actually-
do this shit, yo?
Yeah, here's what actually Microsoft, like what they're talking about, the story they're talking about is that Microsoft rolled out an update. Part of their most recent update to the Xbox console is that now by default, the system will go into power saving mode when you turn it off, so that many gamers, because before the default setting was power saving mode not off, like we're gonna basically keep your Xbox at standby so we can download updates and shit while you're offline. But now the default is power saving mode is turned on, and if you want, Republicans, like if you have your Xbox at home and you want to guzzle as much energy as possible when you're not playing your Xbox, you can simply change that setting, because the non-energy saving mode is still available to use on the console.
You know what I've been doing for the last 15 years? Turning on power saver mode on my fucking television or whatever other electronic I'm able to do it on. Because I don't like paying I don't like paying BG&E.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck?
Thank you.
Jesus.
Like, I mean, it's great that I'm helping the environment and all, but like, nah, yo, Pepco is a lot of money, yo.
I hate them niggas, yo. I can't stand them, yo. Why are they allowed to do this dumb shit? And people just listen like,
because their voters do not hold them accountable for not actually achieving anything in Congress while they're there, except for yelling and being mad about stuff.
Stoves. I have an electric glass top stove. I hate that motherfucker. I can't stand.
Yo, you can't. It's not a good way to cook. It really
I hate
is
it.
not a good.
I would rather have a gas stove, honestly.
There's a good way to burn food, like that, but that's about it.
And you can't tell until you smell
Right. It's right. Like,
I hate it. I hate gas.
I also prefer gas stoves as well. We have a gas stove, but when it's time to buy a new stove, if all that's available is induction stoves, guess what? I'll fucking live. Like,
right.
like
it's not going to be the end of the world.
Right? And guess what? Induction stoves are still better than that piece of shit like electric burner stove that I had when I lived in my apartment. Those are the worst.
Yeah, those coils.
Yeah, those are the absolute worst.
I can't stand that shit.
So at least we have induction now. Well, that's better than gas. But yeah, no. So never fear, Republicans. Microsoft not coming for your Xboxes. Wokeism is not happening on Xbox. They're just trying to save some energy. And look, for someone like me, I do keep my Xbox in standby mode, but I don't play the motherfucker, so I should probably put this in power save mode, honestly, because I never played the damn thing. What am I going to update? Season 3 of Halo Infinite that I'm never going to go back to?
Yeah. Okay. I heard about Hi-Fi Rush, and I was like, all right, I took the controller, I dusted it off, right? This is why we do a show together, man. Right. And yeah, it was like, oh, you've got like 3 updates. I'm like, Jesus Christ. God, how long has it been?
But look, it's an Xbox. So those updates go lickety split. I don't know what magic beans Microsoft powers the Xbox console with, but for some reason their updates compared to PlayStation take like no time at all. It's crazy.
It had been so long that my television has a dedicated input, icon for the Xbox, and it registers like, hey, this is an Xbox. So here's a beautiful Xbox logo on your homepage on your Samsung, and it just was gone for the longest time because I never turned it on. So, look, man, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yo,
stop using the word
woke. Is a fucking dickhead, yo. Like, look at this tweet. First gas stoves, then your coffee. Now they're gunning for your Xbox.
Yeah, and guess
to punch that dude in the face.
And guess where the story came from. This good Dead Pixels callback. Our friend Glenn Beck is at it again. Where is our Superman?
First gas stoves, then your coffee, now your Xbox. But first they came for Superman. Superman's gay now. They're coming for him.
They're gonna hack your phone from from the street. Remember, like he was mad about Watch Dogs. Like it was a game that promoted hacking
Yeah,
with
a
magic
magic
phones.
phone. All right, all right.
It's upsetting that they allow to do this shit and people actually believe them. It's just like the internet is designed to learn stuff, right? Like the Learning Channel used to be designed so you can learn stuff, right?
I mean, I learned something that day with that J show. I couldn't believe it.
Like, that's what the internet is there for. You see something and then you do a little bit of research. You find out whether it's true or not. These dumb niggas. Okay, you know
Terrence,
what?
why learn things when you can just read a really incendiary headline that doesn't at all portray what's happening in actual context, and just share that.
You're right, Brad.
Why learn?
I'm the dickhead. You're right. Fuck it. Just,
fuck it. Hey, we've got natural gas to huff out of a fucking running stove burner that we need. We don't have time to read fucking news articles. Get out of here.
oh my god, I can't.
And I love that. Like the whole gas stove thing is fucking like, hey, like we're actually trying to get like benefit your health. Like that, like there's health risks potentially to using a gas stove. Like fuck you, I'm gonna die with my gas cooking. Like okay, fine, I guess.
They also didn't want to get vaccinated, so of course they're not going to get rid of their gas stove.
Fucking Ron DeSantis is sharing fucking Gadsden flags with gas stoves on them. Meanwhile, 90% of the stoves in Florida are fucking electric. Get the hell out of here, Ron DeSantis, you dummy. We've been talking a whole lot about labor organization in the video game industry. I have to share the most ironically funny labor story. It's not actually funny, but it's funny, and you'll understand why it's funny in a second. So, another Activision Blizzard studio was planning to unionize, and they were all voting on this, but recently they have dropped the plans to form a union, and they say it's because of confrontational tactics by their CEO. This is the studio that did the what the hell was the name of that game? Spell something. There was like a battle royale game with like wizards that they did.
Oh, Spellbreaker?
Yeah, Spellbreak. That's what it was. And it was so good that Blizzard's like, hey, we're gonna acquire the studio and they're gonna help us do shit, and that's great. But their CEO, in the wake of employees thinking about unionization, according to them, chose to follow Activision's Blizzard's lead and responded to workers' desire to form a union with confrontational tactics. And this doing so disempowered and demoralized the group, which made a free and fair election difficult. So basically, they were involved in union busting. The reason that this is funny, from an ironic point of view, is because the name of the studio is Proletariat.
Yo, come on.
Can't make this shit up, huh?
I'm sorry, but when I saw this story, I really needed someone to just do the headline, like union busting tactics from the CEO affects Proletariat Studios.
Yo,
that's all I wanted to see. Yo, if you're gonna call yourself fucking Proletariat Studios, how the fuck are you gonna be breaking up unions? How?
Do you think that it's a possibility that they just didn't know what the proletariat means?
Yes, I think that's a high possibility now based on this information.
I mean, but like, who hears the word proletariat, doesn't know what it means, and it's just like, that's a cool ass word. Like, I'm gonna name it. Like, it's not like a band name. Like,
I need them to now rename themselves like the Government Studios, like the Man Studios.
oh my god, that's funny, man.
Fucking Tsar Nicholas II Studios out here in fucking Boston. Yo, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. So yeah, I had to mention it because that tickled me. That tickled me when I saw that story. So.
Look, go to densepixels.com/Amazon for all of your Amazon purchases. When you go to densepixels.com for slash Amazon for all your Amazon purchases. You don't pay anything extra. You get us a little bit of a finder's fee. I'm on densepixels.com slash Amazon, and it says picked up where I left off, and I'm seeing a bunch of
Terrifies
Sony.
me.
I'm seeing a bunch of Sony A7 cameras. I did not leave off there because I don't have $2,200.
I was gonna say, but don't you have an A6 anyway?
Yeah, I had an A6100. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not a professional, right? I'm using it for this, right? Like, so, but if you would like to go buy a Sony A7 III for $2,200, please go to Amazon.com slash dense pixels. Please. Because that would really, really help. Everything else is just like diapers because my eldest is eating table food now, so he's got big boy poops. My eldest, Jesus, my eldest has big boy poops, and he stinks. So,
young boys tend to stink. That is unfortunately
yeah, buddy.
how it goes.
Buddy. Turn the fan on. I don't want the fan on. Look, boy, you better turn that damn fan on. You stink.
Like I said, they may be young boys, but they do have fucking adult stink asses. Fucking like the smells that come from my son are insane. So
like, god damn.
And that doesn't stop, by the way. Like that is never ending. So
great.
T-Wash asks in the Dense Pixels post office, which you two can submit questions by going to densepixels.com/fans. In your opinion, who had the best wrestling rivalry? He suggests Booker T and Stone Cold with the groceries.
That's one you don't hear every day. Bit of trivia. Booker T's dick fell out of his pants in that grocery store.
I actually knew that.
So there you go. And Stone Cold did his best to hurry up, try to cover it up. So next time, think about that next time you want to revisit your favorite rivalry.
Fucking Booker T's dick swinging in the milk aisle. I like that. Oh, thanks.
I feel like the answer to this question has to be Austin McMahon, right?
Yeah, I think so. It literally defined a generation. People are longing for. It was the perfect thing at the time too, right? Like it's the '90s, and it was a lot of the Austin being the everyman that every man wishes he could be. And McMahon being like the boss that every person that hates their job, he was the personification of that. Yeah, it was cathartic, right? Like seeing this, beer swilling redneck hit his boss over the head with a bedpan. Like that was great, man.
and it's insane how long it lasted too. I mean, it kind of petered out at the end there. The whole higher power story really fucked that whole thing up.
Yeah, again, like thank God that Vince McMahon is not here, just to try and swerve us. Like, nah, yo, you don't need to be swerved. We don't need incest. We don't need having sex with dead chicks in coffins.
He's a weird fucking dude, yeah.
He is a weird
man.
fucking
He's got some issues, yo. That's like 78 years old.
Yeah, there's not too many industries where you can see a fucking grown ass middle aged man work out some of his psychological trauma in front of you every week, but yet the wrestling industry exists.
Odd duck. And that was also like a perfect storm, also because he fucked Brett over.
Mm-hmm.
And then like a year and a half, maybe a couple months later, that whole rivalry started with him. So I would put that up there.
Yeah, it's funny how the best stories seem to just arise out of like happenstance occurrences. Like Sami Zayn, like trust me, when Sami Zayn joined the Bloodline, there is no fucking way that they had this trajectory plotted out. Like they've been rolling with the punches a little bit on that. So, Vic Bear asks, are there any game genres that you like but are aging out of? For him, it's fighting games. He says, I'm in my late 30s, and some of these combos I can't hit like I could in my youth.
Step your game up, dog. I'm 40. I can still. Like, come on, man. What are you doing? Aging out of? I don't know. I can play just about anything. Now, what I like and what I don't play what I don't like. So, no, I don't think there's anything that I'm aging out of.
I'm going
might be a little.
I'm going the opposite direction.
Shooting.
I'm going the opposite direction. Like I'm approaching my 40s, and I'm like, you know what? I could get into Souls games. I could just play like the hardest fucking games in the planet.
Like, that's wild. That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like I'm starting. Like I'm not aging out, but I'm like, I don't want my games to be that difficult. Like I used to.
I've been there for a long time, man. I've been there for a long time. Yeah, I want to relax, man.
For me, I'm pretty much done at this point with like sports sims.
I will say I haven't like sports. Like that's why I don't play the WWE games, man. Like they got to. I heard like 2022 was kind of got back to its not roots, but like a little bit more simple than it has been for the last like 10 years. It's a little more fun. When the fuck does that AEW game come out? I thought it was supposed to come out.
It's supposed to come out this year, supposedly.
Okay.
So we'll see. I want
to play it.
Better be good. I mean, look, I fear that game has like fucking 65 Metacritic written all over it. So.
Oh, it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good. Like their whole marketing strategy is that it's just like the ones you played on N64.
That's fine enough.
That's fine, but like that can't be the only thing, yo. Like your marketing strategy is, hey, this game plays like a game that you played 25 years ago.
And can still play today if you really want to play No Mercy. Like it's not that hard to find.
Mods that they put those
emulators exist.
Entirely updated roster on that game in those games.
Yeah, man. I
think my issue with that
play
game,
it, but
there's no impact on the moves. That's the only thing I noticed for that Fight Forever game. Like, this looks fun, but like, it doesn't feel like I'm doing any damage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there's anything I've aged out of just yet.
What was the tough thing wrestling games always have is how do you handle fatigue? Like you almost have to like either commit to the fact that it's a fighting game, or you have to have like some convoluted system that never seems to work very well. So
like what the fuck was the fatigue system in the N64 games?
You beat your opponent down until their momentum meter was blue.
Blue, right?
Yeah.
You still okay?
But there was still like a hidden health bar that they had.
That's what I mean. Like there was all that weird health bar that you could
enough.
still kick out when you were in blue.
Right.
And sometimes you get a KO. Like there's no fucking KOs in wrestling, but all right. You got it. But you can turn it off.
Yep. Mark asks, when was the last time you were almost this is a bad question to ask Terrence. When was the last time you were almost unreasonably angry at a video game? He said this is not inspired at all by someone parking in his reserved spot at work.
Unreasonably angry?
Yeah. Like we've told the Ninja Gaiden 2 story ad nauseum on the show before, so everyone knows that at this point.
That's probably yeah.
I mean, you literally stabbed the video game. I think I don't think. Actually, no. It's MVC, isn't it?
No, that was Street Fighter 4.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
No, when you whipped your controller at your TV.
Yeah, that was Street Fighter 4.
Oh, was it? I thought it was Ultimate Marvel. So
no, Ultimate Marvel wasn't even out.
Oh,
it was Street Fighter 4. It was I was fighting against what's that bitch name? Like what's her name? The electrical hand chick. Sea Viper.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sea Viper in Street Fighter 4, and I fucking lost it. Had to buy a whole new TV. That was the last time actually when I'm like I gotta fucking relax. I got a problem. You know. But yeah, that was the last time I was unreasonably angry. Now I just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna go watch a TV show. Turn this shit off. I don't have time for this.
I feel like I told this story before. I was once done in by a glitch in Madden 05 in my franchise where it had this weird glitch that like if you played the Steelers and they were the road team. If you did not physically go in and adjust their jerseys, that it would soft lock the game and you'd have to reboot it. So I was the Ravens in my franchise. It was week 16 back when they had 17-week seasons. And I had to play the Steelers and they were on the road. And it kept soft locking the game. So I thought it was just a bug and it fucking glitched. And I was like, all right, this isn't working. I just got to simulate the game. I lost the simulated game. And then I lost my last game of the season, which caused me to miss the playoffs by one game. And it is like the only time in my life that I went fucking full Chad and literally fucking punched a hole in my wall. So I was so upset.
Turned into a Cowboys fan in the playoffs.
Run your fucking car, run your TV over with a car.
Yeah. On the plus side, it was in the spare room that no one occupied, so like no one ever got. We forgot about it until it was time to move out, and we're like, oh shit, like we need to cover this. So, like, I can't see you getting unreasonably angry at a video game without turning it off and walking away from it.
Yeah, I don't have anger issues like you guys, man. I'll just turn it off. I'll just turn it off. I'll just like that episode of The Simpsons where Elvis like, oh, this ain't no good. Bam! Just turn it off.
Amir says, I'm not sure if I asked this before, but is there a game that is like your comfort food that you go back to? For example, he's played MGS3 at least once a year. And he said also, whatever happened to the Men with the Golden Tongues MGS reviews? Yeah, we did leave off right when we were getting to 3. So,
the MGS reviews, Micah has never finished MGS 3, so I have to take a lot of notes, and we'll get to
YouTube video over the MGS.
Yeah, I gotta watch the
it's
video.
a long one too. It's like 7 hours.
Yep.
Buckle up.
I love that game, though. I fucking love that MGS3. I love that game.
Spider-Man, I can swing around forever. I can swing around just like, Spider-Man is my comfort food game.
Yeah.
Either one of them. The first one. The first one is a little more complicated than Miles Morales. Miles Morales is fine, but it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the few games that if I get a platinum in a game and one of the trophies is a difficulty trophy, like beat it on the hardest level, that's when you know that I really love that game. So,
I think I even beat that on. I think that's like one of 2 platinums I have on PlayStation. Spider-Man. I don't know if I have a specific game that I go back to all the time. No Man's Sky, actually, because like it's when I just don't feel like really doing anything like strenuous.
Oh, when you don't feel like playing a game, you play No Man's Sky.
Yeah, you just kind of just walk like. I've gotten to the point in one of my saves where I have like 90 billion credits. Like I can do whatever the fuck I want. I'll just go around and build whatever the fuck I want, or just
Terrence,
go into
Terrence flies up to a freighter. He's like, "I'm going to buy you now." Like,
right? I'm like, right. I can do.
Add this to my fleet. So
yeah, you can do whatever the fuck you want in that game. But yeah, that's sometimes like every once in a while I just turn that on and be like, wow, they added a lot of shit. Every time you turn it back on, it's like, wow, there's a whole new game to play. And like, damn, that game is great.
Slay the Spire is that game for me. Between my Switch and Steam, I've probably put at this point over 400 hours into that game so far. And if you want like a retro version, the Donkey Kong Country games, the first 2 at least, are definitely comfort food. I replay those quite frequently. So, Daniel says new Uncharted was supposedly teased in a PlayStation 5 ad. How interested are you to get another? I'm good, actually.
Hey, and that's
I'm not.
Story.
Yeah,
they did.
I am good.
Yeah.
I don't need to know.
The
like
the
those
tease
games enough.
Yeah, the tease is that like his daughter will become like the treasure hunter.
Oh, well, now I sound like a sexist because I don't want to.
No, I am good. I am good. Like I got my fill out of 6 games I think total in the franchise if
Yeah.
you count the Vita game and Lost Legacy.
Yeah.
I'm good. I feel like that's enough. So
I feel like that's more than enough.
Yeah.
I feel like if anything, you can get rid of 3 of those games, 3 of those 6 games, and 4 was really great. One, one was the one that kind of introduced everybody. 1, 2, and 4, I'm fine with. You can dish the other ones.
are you ready to have your not your emotions? Are you ready to have your psyche like punched in the gut, Micah? Uncharted 4 turns 7 years old this year.
Damn.
What?
Jesus.
Yes, it came out in 2016.
Jesus Christ,
Time waits for no man.
Really?
Cam says you're welcome for Saturday night. Yes, thank you for saving my head from being concussed.
Thank you for doing the right thing.
Protected chair shot. Yeah.
You were amazing.
Which group of people need to be put on the no-fly list first? The people who clap their hands when the plane lands, people who take their shoes off on flights,
that one,
or, well, I don't know, let's wait till this last one. People who stand up as soon as the plane lands, even though there are 28 rows of people that are ahead of them that get to disembark.
It's the feet thing, man.
It's the feet thing.
It's the feet
Nah,
thing.
because I sitting there until the plane is almost empty before I get up because I don't like rushing.
I am the same, which is why I hate when the person. So for me, it's the last one. Like I fucking hate the people that stand up immediately.
Well, in your row,
yes.
Like I mean, if they're not standing up in your row, then it doesn't matter.
Terrence, people have stood up. Well, like if I'm in the aisle, like the middle seat person has stood up. And I'm just like, what? And I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Sit down.
You're such an
I'm not
uncouth
moving.
dad. Right.
Like,
we ain't going no.
And the person who annoys me the most is the person who like in row 30 immediately like barges ahead and just observes no etiquette whatsoever when it comes to the plane disembarking franchise. Look, if you wanted to get off the plane first, you should have sprung for the business class ticket. That's all I'm saying.
See, here's the thing though, right? Here's the thing. That's what 15 minutes? Nah, yo. If someone is eating Fritos with their feet for 3 hours, 3 to 6 hours,
I'm not. Get the fuck out of here.
Yo,
number
I can't.
2.
Yeah, I can't.
See, I've never personally encountered that. I might feel differently if someone's foot just appeared like next to me in the seat without warning.
I might stab you in the fucking foot. With if I've never had someone do that to me, but yeah, I might stab you in your foot because that's disrespectful as fuck.
I had it done once because we were flying to Atlanta, and my wife, for some reason, hated me and wanted to sit in the aisle, even though I'm damn near a whole ass foot taller than her. I was like, all right, go ahead because you got to go to the bathroom or whatever. You got to take Maxwell, up and down. I get it. And here's this big old white foot, just like, and it's just like, just there, yo. I'm like, nah, yo, this ain't black meat, white feet. Get out of here, yo. I don't want this near me. And I had to like, boom, 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 and just like, come on, yo, come on.
I love how you called a flight attendant to be like,
I did, yo, like get out of it because yo, look. I'm not trying to die on the plane. Kill my ass. I am very much aware of what I look like, and that big white foot just like nah, yo, nah.
I'm like, yo, you get your foot out my face, my nigga. Like, no, this is what we're not doing.
And see,
why do you even think that's acceptable to do?
Uncouth. People ain't never been nowhere.
and the people that clap, those are the same people that clap at the end of a movie. Just like let them have their fun, I guess. At least on the plane, there's the off chance that the pilot will hear you and like appreciate clapping for him. Whereas with the movie, like unless you're at the premiere,
it makes no sense for the movie. Like I get it with a plane because like you might be scared, right? You're like, this might be your, we made it. Oh, thank God. Right, like you might be scared of flying. I get it, but like at the end of a movie,
Okay.
Nah, yo.
Like you're not even clapping for a projectionist nowadays.
Right.
Everything's digital. So get out of here.
Yeah. Plus, I'm sleep on a plane. As soon as that bitch take off, I just knock the fuck out. So
Yeah.
I don't see any of that shit. Anyway,
Llama Priest asks, they say they recently downloaded Monster Hunter Rise on the PlayStation, so far having fun with the game, but it's not engaged me like Monster Hunter World did. He asked Carrie, what is your favorite Monster Hunter game? What do you think about Rise compared to World? He said the monster fights are not as challenging. Carrie did reply, because she's not on this week. She said, I'm sick, so I won't be on the show, but my favorite Monster Hunter game is World. I also feel that Rise has been generally easier, but so far some of the Master Rag hunts, and especially the inflicted monsters, have got some hands. Yeah, like in low rank, the fights are pretty easy. In Rise, once you get into... especially once you get into high rank, but I just cracked into Master this past weekend, and yes, especially when you're soloing those fights, some of them can get very, very brutal, especially for the monsters that you didn't fight as often, so you don't know their patterns as well, and they fucking hit hard. Like that's the other problem in Monster Hunter. Some of those fucking monsters hit like a truck, and so like you only have like maybe 2 hits before you'll faint. So, but I think Rise was specifically designed to be a more welcoming game to folks. I mean, I think from what I understand, Gen 5 Monster Hunter, period, including World, is a little bit easier than the games before it. So
that's what I heard. I put like 200 hours into Monster Hunter World.
I'm at some point when I am done with Rise, which is going to be a long time from now, but like when I'm done with Rise, I probably will go back and play World, because now that I kind of know what I'm doing, I feel like I'll appreciate the game a little bit more. But I will miss not having a dog that I can ride to get to the monster way faster than you can in every other Monster Hunter game. So that is it for the post office. So thank you guys very much for going to densepixels.com/fans and submitting your questions. And that means that is going to be the end of the show for this week. Make sure you subscribe to this show, as well as all the other TNP Studio shows, wherever you download fine podcasts. You can also go to youtube.com/densepixels and subscribe and ring the bell icon there as well. We're at twitch.tv/densepixels, and you can also follow our individual channels. I am densepixels Brad. Terrence is Apparition410. Carrie is Suppits Carrie. Look, I can't wait for SmackDown. It's almost shocking to me that they're not going to address this on Raw this week, just because they're making everyone wait, which I applaud them for. I admire the restraint. I think unless they did announce Roman Reigns for Raw and I just missed it. So
nah, they're gonna make you wait, which is good.
Yeah,
Totally fine. Yeah, you gotta edge us, man. You gotta edge us.
It's a great place to leave it. Thank you guys very much for watching and listening, and we'll see you all the next time. You're watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here, and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.